Wednesday morning, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's probably like going to be 71 today. Perfect temperature for going fast. This track's always killer. Windy as hell, but that shouldn't bother us. It's a headwind. What we want to do is try to get as much information in our first hit out there. So we want to go as far as we can down the track to learn is what the track's going to be, what the car's going to be like, and then we can start making a tune-up. Today's called a test day, so wish us luck.
Just plumbing some new solenoids in for the trans brake and trying to route some hoses and try and keep them from getting melted and or destroyed.
I'm changing out a new CO2 bottle. The other one's been in there for a while. We just want to make sure we're fresh. The purpose of the bottles is to apply CO2 to different solenoids that does different functions in our torque converter drive and our transmission. So it shifts the transmission, it operates trans brake, so there's different levels, different pressures for the CO2, so we have two different bottles. One's set at about 250 and then one's like 150. That's what a lot of put a little heat in it. They're gonna call us to the lanes here pretty quick. We just orificed down one of the feed lines to the turbochargers. It's feeding a little too much oil. So we just quickly did that, so we had a few minutes, and then another thing we did was we switched out our parachutes. We got some new parachutes that Stroud just built us in a hurry. And we were at the NHRA track in Pomona last week, and we realized all we had was our small chutes. And we're really concerned about the short shutdown that they had at the Pomona Dragway there. So that's the real reason why we let off at 1,000 feet. We're worried about getting this 3,000 pound beast stopped in time if we ran like 260 or something like that. So we loaded up and did it the safe way and still made a nice hit.
So I've got the same exact setup we ran last week in Pomona. We shut it off early, went 603, 214, ran like 402, 200 to the eighth. So because it's been driven around on the road, the easiest way to know everything is exactly how it was is to go make that same run again. So we'll go make that same run again, and then later I'll put the 395 205 tune-up that we had with this set of turbos when we ran it in Michigan last time, and that gives us an idea then how the track is compared to what we ran in Michigan. And then from there we may change the turbos and go make another run, I don't know, but that way we get a way to measure what the track is using the actual car. So we're only going to run to the 8th today because we're testing, so if it goes 402, 405, whatever, as long as it goes right down the track like it did last week, then we know we're good.
We're going to make a hit, see if we get some information we can use. I don't think he was happy with his wheelie bar adjustment, so they kind of timed us out and said, "Get the fuck up."
Well, it was taking fucking forever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, fucking nice hit, man. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here. We ran out to the 8th mile. Ran 198.9 miles an hour at 405. That's the tune-up that we put in it. That's exactly what we wanted to do. So the car does what we're asking it to do. So now we can go and ask it something a little bit more aggressive. So perfect. We're happy. Nice stuff.
What you think, Ed?
Good. Smooth.
After every time the car goes out, it goes on the Pro Jacks, comes back up. That way we can work on it in a safer manner. These are really secure. They're what they call a Pro Jack. And that way if we need to get underneath the car and really inspect something or make an adjustment, we can do it. We're going to, since we may get one more run here, we're going to pull these 98 millimeters off and put the Hartz 110 on. Because the car did exactly what we wanted it to do, so now we're going to go ahead and see if we can repeat it with something else. So we're going to change something so we know we're at on our tune-up. So we're going to take the front side of these turbos off the inlet side and give it a shot. Alright, look at that shiny baby. That's what you call badass. We found this up in the attic. I think we're going to use it. I'm just trying to clean a little bit so we can grab a hold of the son of a gun, right? I get it. A cold turbocharger. Should we use them?
This one's really hot.
Yeah.
Don't we need to put that in?
Yep, I'm going to do that right now.
Clamp. What about the intake? Does it need to be clocked?
Yeah, I got to loosen it up. It's not right.
We plan to test like 3 or more runs today, but because of scheduling and when Ed got here and when the car was ready and then the way they're doing the testing, they're basically testing by car class, so you can't just go up and run anytime you want. We probably aren't going to get 3 chances like I was hoping. We're going to get 2, and so what that means is that I have to accelerate the testing sort of regime and jump from what I was going to do on run 2 straight to what I was going to do on run 3. And the reason I'm doing that is because ultimately we want to be quicker than we are. So these are the 2 different drive shaft curves. This is the orange one is the run basically from today that we made, which is a dead copy of what we made in Pomona. But the white drive shaft curve, and so your axis here is drive shaft speed this way, RPM, and time this direction. So the higher the drive shaft speed for a given amount of time, the quicker the car is going to go, assuming it's got the same level of grip. So I know the track has more grip than Pomona. It probably has less grip than Michigan, which is where this white drive shaft curve came from. So my plan was to step between orange and white in 3 steps. But since we're not going to get 3 steps, I could either take the conservative route and go in the middle and see if that's going to work because qualifying starts tomorrow, or I jump straight to the faster drive shaft. I'm going to put myself further ahead if that works. If it doesn't work, I can always go back to what we just ran. I know that will go right down the racetrack and it'll run a number good enough to get us in the program. So the concept is to try to right away in the first qualifying round establish a run that will keep you qualified, and then you can afford to experiment as qualifying goes on. The change that we were making, again, we wanted to make in 2 steps. This is actually the boost curve, which really sets kind of the horsepower curve that the engine's going to make. Again, we have boost pressure this way and time that direction. So our fastest run ever is this white line, right, with the 110mm turbos. And the yellow line represents the run we just made, which is the same as what we made last weekend in Pomona, which is significantly less horsepower, right? But in order for us to get the car to accelerate faster on a stickier track, we need more horsepower. So we're gonna go jump, from yellow to white. It's a little bit of a risky move, but we've done it before. So in order to get the white line, we have to run the 110mm turbo. The 98 won't make that much boost anyway.
All right, we switched turbos out. It took us, I don't know, felt like about 50 minutes. We put the 110 Hartz in it. Now we can put a little different boost curve in there. What we're doing is the 110s are on now. We're gonna check for leaks.
Bang one time or lots of times?
Leave okay?
It looks like it. I can't read it. You go 106?
Yeah.
I mean, look, it was...
I didn't feel it, Greg. I just felt like too much RPM. Like it's revved up and not...
It did sound
and then
like...
as soon as I lifted...
Yeah.
Clank, 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 clank.
Maybe the drive shaft.
And it now... I think it's motor.
Oh, it's up there.
Yeah,
Did you shut it off or it shut itself off?
the motor died itself.
Oh, okay. All right, let's get it back and see what's wrong.
We looked in our data. It looks like there's a problem with number 5, like a valve spring or a rocker arm will be off. So we're gonna do some, hopefully we can do some fixing here.
Did it break the stand or what the fuck did it do? Oh yeah, it broke the stand right there. It ripped the stand off the head.
Oh, the rip stand, yep. Okay, so what happened, the stand came off the head, see it? It's not on the head, so it's laying off the side, and this just falls off.
You know what? Wasn't so bad because you want to know why I did.
EGT was the one that told me it was number 5, but the intake manifold pressure, you know, when it doesn't open one exhaust, it tries to combust and then goes back up the intake when the next intake stroke happens. So the manifold pressure trace is doing this shit. I got a little, but then it's trying to take the hex out.
Right.
Winning.
Yes. Sweet.
It's not got much bend to it. It's just slightly crooked. That one's been flopping around in there, running into the cylinder head. I mean, I don't know. I'm not used to looking at it, so I got nothing to compare it to. The roller's not broke, and I always thought maybe it was, so it ain't. I don't know. I need a sample to compare it to. I'm not an engine builder, so I'm just trying to.
Yeah, you're usually the tuner.
Yeah. Keyboard jockey. So now the problem is that the stud that broke is in the cylinder head, and the only chance we have to get it out is to weld a nut to the stud, and then use a hex, you know, either wrench or a socket or whatever, and unscrew the stud and nut together as a bolt once it's welded together to get it out. And once it's out, we can try putting a new stand on it, put another rocker on it, adjust the valve, and see if it'll run again. We might be in good shape, but that's the case. If not, then we'll have to figure out how we're going to solve the problem.
We found some fresh bolts right here. We're just about ready to put it back together and fire it up here real shortly.
10:30?
This is right where we had our surgery here. why the bolt broke or was loose or whatever was happening. We repaired it, fixed it, and we ran the car, and we spooled it up a little bit, and everything seems to be back to normal. So I think that's successful. So we'll give it a shot tomorrow at 12:30. Pro Mods have qualification round number 1, and we'll be at the starting line waiting. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support, everybody.